All right. This is insane. I didn't think there would be so many bugs and everything around here. Wow. All right, so welcome back to another devlog. This is number 4, I think, and it's my second devlog on the channel. Yeah, today we're going to look at the Figma board, the designs that we made for the project and how it's turned out. And yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We have quite the nice scenery around here because I didn't want to film in my room because it was way too warm. Probably will stay that way for a couple of days, so I'm gonna try it here. Okay, so let's have a look at the boards. Okay, so what you can see in this overview screen here, we have two boards for Observe. One of them is Observe Final and one of them is the Interface Lab. I'm gonna start with the Interface Lab because it's actually the older one and it's the one where we started with. Alright, so before I'm showing you the Figma design, I just wanted to say that this is actually not, I think, how it's supposed to be done. And we are not professionals. We're just doing this as a hobby and yeah, we're just doing it the way we think it is the best for us. So please don't learn anything from us and just maybe just look at the designs or something because it's like very messy. Okay, so what do we have here? We have the Interface Lab. This was our first Figma project, and as you can see, it is quite large and messy. I'm not really sure where we really started, but this file of Figma design has everything in it when we started. It has like the fundamental base of when we just started developing the application. You can see here the first like UI components that we crafted and some little UI things. It was a very interesting time back then because it actually defined a lot of things. You can see the different kinds of advertisements that we try to make for the application in the right style. We have the widgets as well. Those widgets are not yet released. We had an earlier beta version of them, but they are not working very well, so we still need to work on them. We had like this big space where we tried to get all the final screens into, but eventually we didn't do it. So you can see some of those spaces. The user interface looks pretty similar to what it looks now, but it's actually not the same. You can still see minor differences, and some screens are actually quite the same. I'm actually surprised. Like this one on the left, the machine type view looks basically just like I left it. Ah yeah, right. We don't have the laptop icon anymore. This changed. What I want to say here is that we actually didn't plan anything of this in the beginning. Like we just started working on this application sporadically, and we didn't try to organize ourselves or have any kind of structure, because I think personally that the creativity and the process of creating something by yourself is being limited by structuring and organizing yourself, because sometimes I have the feeling that the ideas are actually quicker than, or the creations are quicker than the organization. So that's why it looks all like this. And one of the benefits it has that we don't really organize it and just have it like this is that we can look back. It's almost like a time capsule, like a memory. We can really see the iterations of the application, the different states when we try to get certain details of the application, different graphs, different types. And this is really nice. And what else is very nice for Figma is that you can just lay it down everywhere you want, and you don't really need to put it into separate files or anything. So you can just have those messy files like this one here, where we just have a bunch of text, where we actually just try to grade our design or try to find some critique. And it worked out pretty well, I think. It's very nice. So over here you can see some modules where we try to find a way to minimize the sections in the application dashboard. Those ones look also pretty nice, I think. This is very hard to record for me because there's so many mosquitoes and frogs, and I didn't think that this would be like that. And you can also see some of our merchandise at the bottom here that we had as an idea. We didn't do it in the end, but I mean, it's still quite nice, I think. You can also see the early iterations of our homepage, where we actually designed the homepage. From this design to actually the front page as you may know it, and now the hero section with the applications UI. And it really shows that we put a lot of effort into creating this. Now to the top right, we have the last iterations of the application before we moved on to another file. Yeah, this is actually almost the final UI. You can see there's very little change to the actual one that we settled on. We have some weird user interface ideas here. For example, this one for the login and welcome screen. We didn't do it in the end, but I mean, still quite funny to see, I think. All right, now this was the interface lab. As you can see, there's like a lot of different things in here, not only regarding the design of the application itself, but also the branding, the website, and also stuff like merchandise or memes or anything. Now I'm going to show you the observe final file. This is actually the one we are working on right now, and it was supposed to be the one that just has the screens that we are going to implement into the application. So the final versions, basically. The interface lab is just for experimenting, and this one was for actually putting it into the real application. So you can see lots of screens here are a replica one by one of actually the application. We haven't updated every part of it, but we tried at least. There's still things of our devlog here, as I can see. We also have some beauty shots here, where you can see the application, how it looks. I can see some arrows here. Nice, very nice. Some graphics, some design graphics also from Daniel. Very, very nice. Yeah, you can already tell the emojis. We still have them in here and they look very nice. There's also quite a few other ideas inside of this. For example, we have those diodes that's going to be in the newest version. It's very nice. Those hyper-realistic diodes, I think, adds a very cool character to the application. Here you can see we had lots of padding issues and we tried to get the front end right. That was actually quite hard. So we had to put in those arrows to get the sizes ready and everything. And I think it actually worked pretty well. I'm quite proud of it. You can see the end result in the App Store, so it's quite nice. And this is also pretty funny. So here you can see the iterations that I told you about that you can see in the interface lab as well. This is the machine recap screen that we began designing that looked very terrible. We actually had quite some fun with those designs. And in the end, with every iteration, with every thought put into it, we actually settled on this one here, which is actually, I think, quite nice. It's not ideal. I'm still not quite satisfied with this design, but it's on the edge of being alright to get into the 1.1 version. Yeah, so that's basically everything from application side. There's not that much more I can show you. There's a presentation at the top here that I'm going to show you later someday, but this is not of focus right now. What I can show you here is the actually Observe web version that we have been working on in the past week. We're trying to replicate the iOS version basically and making it into the web app. And this is what the mockup right now looks like. So we're trying to make a single screen dashboard that shows you every important metric and data type that you need to see when you just want to see what your machine is doing in the web. This is what the interface looks like right now, and we also made like a small, I don't know, mock-up screen design or anything. Also looks quite good, I think. And yeah, not that much else to see other than that we also have lots of problems with actually keeping it tidy. What started as like a structured final version of the observed screens also turned into a mess. And now we have this weird situation where we actually probably need to make a third file to not lose the old memories and progress, and also create a file that actually has every screen that is finished and ready in it, and that's basically it. Yeah, so we're probably going to do that in the future. But that should be it from my side. I hope that this little showcase of our designs can help you to understand how designing an application works, and that it's actually not very linear or structured in any way. And I think that's probably the case for many designers and creators who just try to create something. It's not always structured and professional. It doesn't really need to be with the craziest techniques or something. It can be basically just with this canvas and the basic Figma version, and you can just create anything you want, and that is very nice. I hope you like me and my co-moderator. He's quite chill, I think, but he also told me just to go home now because the mosquitoes are biting me and we just want to get home. We're just going to cut it here, and so let's move. Okay, are you ready?